Well, hello there, YouTubers. It is I. That's right, me, myself, and I. The big, and I do mean big. And did I say big? I meant Big D. Coming to you live and in person. That's right, live and in person at a Love's truck stop in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm not kidding. Let me show you the excitement going on here today. This is what you got to look forward to, folks. That's right. Look at all that excitement. Whew. I mean, really. It makes you want to jump in a vehicle right now and just head on down here, doesn't it? That's right, folks. This is the excitement of being an expediter. Yeah. Life in a parking lot. So I should do a video on that, life in a parking lot. I think I will. That's a great one. I crack myself up sometime. Before I get started on a day's exciting, and I do mean exciting, and did I say exciting? I meant exciting video. Have you subscribed to this channel? I mean, how many times I gotta ask you? Help a brother out, man. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Hit the bell dingy. Ding, 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 ding. Share it, like it, leave comments, thumbs up, thumbs down. I really don't care. Just leave something. Except a big pile of do, and don't want that. I was asked by a subscriber where the good spots are. And it'd be helpful. Well, I'm going to help you determine that, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on where the good spots are. Now, some companies, maybe Bolt or Panther has a direct customer somewhere that we don't. And they can get freight out of there. And you won't, but they do. Each company's different, so it changes from company to company. Barrett did well in certain areas, especially across the top between Detroit and Kansas City. We used to do back and forth. Okay? They had a direct customer. That being said, that will affect the hotspots. Now, that being said, you're just with a normal carrier and everything, north, Minnesota. Now, there was, I swear to God, you can't make certain things up, but there was a YouTuber out there who, him I've had words before, and I finally just blocked the idiot because I can't take being called we're vagrants, out there getting our baths at blue beacons and stuff. And I was called all this because I asked him to show his washouts, verify what he says. And you can tell when someone's lips are moving and they're giving you lip service. When I asked the other guy the other day about, I did like $6,000, and here's my invoices, and that's all his invoices for the week with 5 vans. And I asked him to give us a breakdown of his cost. Profit loss, Then I became a hater, and I was a racist. Can't make this stuff up. And that's when you know you've hit a nerve, okay? It's when they start calling you names. I tell you guys all the time, if they're going to talk, ask them to prove it. If they're not willing to prove it, why are you listening to them for? I can tell you that I've done, 6,000 miles this week and did them all at $1.50 a mile and all miles paid. You don't know. Sounds good, and people like to hear the good. Trust me. If I'm sitting here blowing sunshine up butts, my rates and my view times and everything go through the roof. But it's not what this channel is about. This channel is about actually helping you and telling you what is and what's really going on out here. The good, the bad, the ugly. Those YouTubers are what I consider the ugly. But just so you know, the freight areas, in my opinion, excuse me, I just got up. I haven't had my tea yet. I'm getting it cold. But is north. If you go south of the Ohio River, okay, there's freight down there, but the rates and stuff start to decline, okay? So if you can keep yourself, like I said, this YouTuber, which I said I just couldn't believe, said this, and he said that he's like in Minneapolis or Minnesota or somewhere, up there, and it's been slow. It's been slow. You know, we bid at 30 bids. If there's 30 bids going on before noon, it's not slow. But you know, maybe your rates are too high. You know, $1.50 a mile or something stupid. But you know, I can't fix stupid. Maybe your rates are too high. And then he said he didn't want to go south because the rates are bad down there. Well, he admits it. But then a few months later, he said he's trying to get one going south. Well, which is it? You say one thing and one statement, a minute later you change your mind. I mean, you know, maybe this is why you can't get a load. You just keep flip-flopping. But I'm telling you, Minnesota, across the top, you know, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and upper New York. These are great freight areas. You can just keep bouncing back and forth up there. You'll do great. Then when you start coming down, it starts to be a problem. Okay? Texas, it's big. Look at Texas. Yeah, it's big, and there's tons of trucks in Texas. It's a border state. A lot of freight going in. There's freight coming out, but it comes out generally cheap. And a lot of people don't know this, but you'll see these yellow box vans or box trucks down there. And what they're doing is they'll, you know, bid this way. They got a pickup over here going to Chicago. They got a pickup with this company over here going to Chicago. And they got one over here going to Chicago. And they all have, you know, a skid, 3 skids. They'll bid each of those at 50 cents. Take them all, put them on the truck, and take all 3 at, you know, $1.50 a mile. Is that what they're supposed to? No. But, you know, like I said, I've said it before. As long as the freight gets there halfway on time and it's intact, the brokers and the receivers and the shippers don't care because it was cheap. Just so you know. So they allow it to continue. Is it ethical? No. Is it technically legal? No, you can do it. But when you lease your van or a bit of bid, is technically supposed to be to that client only. Oh, excuse me. And not to be used for other people. I gotta get me something to drink here, but you know, that's how that works. And yes, the Honorable Palmer tea. It's cheaper and it tastes good. But it's supposed to be exclusive. Lots of things can go wrong with that. That's much better. So if you do something like that, you can run into problems. Now, up there is great. Other than that, you don't want to cross over the Mississippi except for up there. Because as you go out west, it gets terrible. You know, people love to grab those loads going from, you know, East Coast to the West Coast. When you get over to the West Coast, now what do? Just so you know, gas over there is $5.55 a gallon. Cha-ching! So not only are you going to pay a ton more, and just think about that for a minute, at $5 a gallon, 25-gallon tank, that's $125 a tank. Gets you about 450 miles for 125. Yeah, think about that. 800 miles is $250 in gas. Yeah. If they do take those over there, and here's another trick you're hearing out there is, I got it for $1 a mile. They have their own MCs and DOTs, and they're bidding cheap as hell. Yeah, they're the problem. They don't even know it. $1 a mile is ridiculous. But they're all in at $1 a mile, and they basically think they've done something great, where they should have been at $1.25 or something like that. But no, they just like to cut rates and brag about it. And they're part of your problem out here, driving rates down. If you're going to run for a carrier, you're probably going to get it $1 a mile, about 80 cents. So the van will get about 80 cents. That being said, that's a long drive for 80, well, say 3,000 miles, $2,400. Start figuring your gas. Yeah, just throw that out the window, tolls and everything else, and your profits start doing. So if you go up to Seattle, Washington, it's pretty snowy up there this time of year too. They got hit with over there in Spokane, you got to go through about 6 to 8 inches of snow yesterday. This is normal for them. You get over there, there's not much freight coming out, so you're going to have to move. You're going to have to drive down the coast. Probably to Ontario, California. It's about 800 miles. 2 tanks of gas. It's $250 to relocate down there, then to get some cheap freight coming out. Yep. And down there, just so you know, in vans, they like to charge you $20 a night to park in a parking lot. Not a lot of places to park down there. But the truck stops charge vans even to park. That's right. They like giving more money out, which is why I don't go to California. So these are the things you got to think of. I mean, you know, you got Nogales, which is down there on the Mexican border south of Tucson. You'll hear these names come out here. Eagle Pass, Laredo, Brownsville, you know, Far, that's all in Texas. You know, these are El Paso, all Texas. You'll hear these names. And getting down there and dropping something off across the border is easy because they're manufacturing GM plant stuff over there, making stuff. They need parts, and they ship them over the border. And stuff comes back, of course, but there's more going over than coming back, which is why you have a surplus of vans in these areas waiting on freight. And the brokers know they can get it cheap. Why? Because there's a ton of vans sitting. So those areas aren't the greatest. Kansas, there's a couple places you can get some freight in Kansas. Is it regular? You know. Oklahoma, I have done terrible in Oklahoma City. I hate Oklahoma City. I won't get near Oklahoma City. But some people get stuff out of there, and God love them. Now you come across the South down here in Alabama and Mississippi and all these places, and the freight in Florida goes down. Well, the reason we're down here is they're automobile plants down here. We're taking stuff into them. Then you get here and sit, hoping something comes out of here. So understand why freight's moving. The East Coast, there's freight over in Jersey and those areas. A lot of people are in business over there too, running rates down. So if you're going to come out of there, you're probably going to come cheap. The Northeast, there's not freight. Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn. But your at-bats become less. In other words, if there's only 6 loads that day being bidded, there's 20 trucks there. 14 of you are going to be highly disappointed. Maybe tomorrow the sun will come up. So, you know, Kentucky, I mean, this weekend a guy was talking about he's in Bowling Green and he's getting freight on. I said, good luck. And people are like, well, if you can't get out of Kentucky, blah, 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 skippy. On the weekend in Bowling Green, good luck. Weekends are slow everywhere, but certain areas are even worse. And why are they worse? Because of who their customers are. Well, that's why. You know, most of them don't work on the weekends. So you're probably going to be sitting. It is what it is. I mean, if you get some probably coming down here, so, you know. What do? Keep track on a map or an app where you pick up and where you deliver. That's data. You keep that information, and the next time you're in an area, you can see where, I picked up just down the street here before, and I picked up over here. I've gotten 6 or 7 loads in this area. Not a bad area. You get there and you got one pen, and you're like, I delivered here, but I don't see anything ever being picked up here. Not a good area. Just cheater's way of keeping track. You're going to figure it out once you get out here, and experience is a great teacher. Knowing where you should be and where you shouldn't be is part of the game, but that's going to be based on your carrier. I'm giving it some time today, but at noontime, I'm going to make a decision whether I'm going to stay here or move out. Now, my 2 options are this. I can go south or I can go north. If I go north, it's going to be Memphis. I hate Memphis. There you go. Not that there's not freight there. We just don't. It's cheap. So, you know. It's Big D saying, I hope this helps. Like, subscribe, and share. Later.